Hey, good morning. It's 11 February. I'm looking at my card here and I'm saying to myself, man, I can't believe what I've turned into. Like, I used to be a business guy and I wanted a nice card with my contact info and the right image to be cool and tell people who you are and that you're in charge of stuff and whatever. And, I lived a good life and I love my life. But if you follow me and you're listening to me and you hear what I'm saying over the past months, year, then you've been to a free school on becoming an ascended master and you don't know it. But thanks to paying attention to the right things, like that the angels are awake and talking to us all over the place, and we're all angels, so you just have to hear it. It's a rotation, and there are those that are not here, that are in bilocation because they're ascended somewhere, or they're not with us in body, but they're out there. They're not capable of advising us, and they're on rotation or in the inner life like we are. This is the inner life now. Heaven is on earth. If you're following me, you're being given all the keys to everything. So it's intelligent infinity that we're heading towards. It's omniscient knowledge through source. Understanding your part through this process right here. This is the sword of fantasy that we know of. King Arthur's court. The sword was locked in the rock and nobody knew how to move it. Okay, so it's a parable. Just like when Yeshua walked around, it's a parable trying to tell you what it is. Here it is. He told that fisherman, the one who had trouble with the truth, the one who opposed Mary Magdalene, which is obvious, and the one who handed off everything to the other bishops. And if you want to understand the nature and the feeling and the deliberate miscommunication that comes from popes, and forgive them immediately as you think about it. Now you're mastering that sword up there. So Pope John Paul, in the tradition of our feeling for that man, you liked him. And then you learn, you really peel back the intellectual side of what he was trying to put into your heart, which is you're going to die. And when you die, you're going to suffer. Just like me. Look how I went down, and look what I did to that statue. And it's the interpretation that did happen when you know the truth. So that's the truth of John Paul II. Look at the title. I mean, my goodness. 2 names, flipping it around. Who am I? I'm from Poland. I'm from Nazi religion to impose psyop on you, with a smile on my face. And he did it. He appointed saints, and when he passed away, he was, oh, too bad he's gone. We want to hear more of what he said. And I have relatives that are in prison because of the teachings. And any adherent Roman Catholic is locked in that rock. And I'm unapologetic because the truth is there in that sword. And we are masters. We're star seeds. We, equally. I'm just here to explain it because we're human and we do analogies and we instantly know where we stand after having been given the clarity that we need to operate. We're going to continue to operate. And we are our own surgeons. And you have to be able to see inside your own heart, parabolically speaking. Boy, it's funny the way this worked out, because I can speak to all of these things. As we go on here, the current way of life, just as an operational mode of business, is consumption. We eat things and we participate. We consume things and we are consumed. It's an inverse relationship. By virtue of us eating content that's inappropriate at a quantum level, you're being eaten. Your human body at the quantum multi-universal level is being eaten in a proportional way, and the dark side will go to the plate as much as they can to eat their stuff. And our job is to stop eating meat. Billions served. Let's play that game. Walking them golden arches. Oh, do you a Big Mac? Oh, is it McRib season? Ooh, we got a little imbalance. The imbalance is what, Thomas, my brother, who didn't make the Bible? It's what? All right, that's not funny. So we have to process, because I'm doing it with you near real time right now as I'm speaking about it. What's negative there? We're eating humans. We're eating humans. In the McRib sandwich, if you've tasted that content before, the content provider was serving you the guy that was laying in the street without the bones, having been processed for you to consume. Ooh, and that's unwitting consumption, so it's complicated. Probably the angels defer the kuru if you don't know you're eating it, but you did. Gag it up. And don't do it anymore. And don't only quit at the McRib. Let's quit at the other parts of the body, like the McCow, the McPig, the McChicken, the McDick. They all need to be left alone, people. You want to live on this planet? You want to be a consumer? And they get you. The ticks get you. I understand. Whoa, now are we dealing with creatures? There are scientists that know how to make those ticks do something else. Just by being considerate. They have a consumption need that hasn't been properly addressed because they're drinking blood. So we just need to go quantum and ask, masters from the seraphim, hey, what should we do? And they'll be like, oh, so glad you asked. Well, we could figure it out on ourselves. We could have true scientists and the true committee. We don't even need to wait 90 years. We can move as fast as we want with all this. So this is the essence of the world you live in. We're looking for the truth within everything. And we know the first density, this is after water, when everything gets put together as a substance. And when it's lost, it's that. And this is dug into it because our Creator never abandons us. Like, this object is a natural product that you need to be aware of because it's real. It was conscious. If you want to go full human with it, pick a pope. Doesn't need to be John Paul. He was relatively good compared to these other madmen that ran around burning people. And it's a lot more subtle now because Francis, he's esoteric. You don't get the direct, bombastic, it's close enough, but he wobbles. He's pulling it off with his role, and we're in this window. So that'll be all interesting. Watch the church. Watch the church. The stuff that's going to happen with resonance, with revelation. We're in the parting things here. The Basques, just the emergence of the resonance to get over to that temple. So this can all be, this needs to turn out of a man. I mean, it should not be. And it shouldn't be that either. Well, he's a crybaby. So, we're going to learn about our viper suit. Okay, when you sit in the lotus position, We understand we have chakra, and we understand the chakra themselves receive new identities. The angels that guard us speak to us about who we are, and then we understand who we are in an ascended way in transition to fourth density awareness. So at third density, you're normal as we know it. You're normal as we have been. At fourth density, you're the same being, but your awareness has increased to fourth density. He's aware. He is aware. He's looking back at me. He's yawning. He may want to go outside. He's 2.7. I love him. He loves me. Okay, and at third density, we, the monkeys that were made with less hair, you know, in our relative, unique but different, obviously, awareness, we know we dream. Monkeys don't. So the difference is so far past a missing link that, you know, there's a gap there that's managed, because in order to be given that gift, you're assessed. Rambo will be assessed by the amount of balance that he ran through, and he may need to get whatever that is. I'm talking about us. I'm way past that, guys. I am here now. We're here. So when I was learning about Rh negative blood 6 months ago, it was so interesting that I was looking for positive. I always look for the prototypes of what we need to be looking for in the human, in the community that's supposedly getting a bad rap. So if you listen about Rh negative people, it's John Podesta recruiting everybody to go to Mars. And I'm telling you right now that I know a personal man, and I could track him down, who the only reason that I came across him and looking was that he had this sword out, and he was having a pretend challenge with another person where the sword was actually kind of doing the fighting. It's a Darth Vader thing where you're a master, so your knowledge is controlling the movement of the energy, so to speak. Please understand, it's a parable of our power, because we have that power. You know, if Lucifer could if everybody could put the moon in place in a collective, please, Bruce Lee, watch the man play ping pong with nunchucks. And that's what we're talking about in terms of what we see and what we are and what we be. So in that light, you don't have to play ping pong with nunchucks. That's not your calling right now. Your calling is to love. You have a heart. Just remind yourself of who, what, where, why do you love? And if you can't figure that out, it's time to ask somebody. Can I have help? Because I don't know. I hear this guy on YouTube and I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Well, it starts right here. Make it big, because it beats. And it's a feeling. We are sentient beings. How we feel. In addition to that, we get to see and assess and judge. So just like that man that I know mastered this as a Darth Vader, you know, it's almost like a Three Musketeers, ho-ho, but the vibe that this man put out was great, and I was his friend on Facebook, and, you know, it's all good to the extent that I understand him. I respect totally, because he was put... Understand, if you just want to continue the analogy, it's sort of like when you drop out of your, you know, into this earth, and if you've decided to wear negative blood in your body, then it just means that you are dipping into this place knowing that if left to your own devices with no consideration of the outside world, if you left that person alone in a jungle, ideally, and he had a negative blood type, the inclination is going to be the survival instinct, because, hey, it's just the proper thing to do. Like, what happened there? I'm moving from it, I'm getting away from it, and I'm going to judge it. So it's a fox at a very advanced level. just to describe it. But as we are, forget blood now. So jump up with me, ascended master, lose your blood type. Before you descended and fell, you were aware that this is what you're accepting. I'm helping you to speed up your thought back in time so you can continue on this journey. And if you don't understand this, replay it, talk to somebody else. But when you're up in the inner life, you're making the advanced decisions at the high self level about, okay, these are the conditions for this life I'm going into. I'm gonna go be the son of a cop. I'm gonna be the firstborn. I'm choosing all these attributes that equal what I have to deal with on this planet. Am I gonna be my orientation in life? Now, an RH negative that gets to spin and goes, boom, hey, you could do it this way. They become the coaches then. And this man was a coach with his, hey, let's go do this, make it work. So he got it. He's got the spin going the right way. He doesn't need any help. This is the man now that I want to be arm in arm with and say, okay, you know how to do that better than me, because that's not my gift. If it is, in fact, I haven't tried it, it'd probably be great, because it's fencing. Fencing's a really interesting art, because it is like you go do it. Once you go forward, you are making a move, and you did it or you didn't. And I've noted that I've got a friend that's got history in his family doing that. So it's an important, feat as a human, for an analogy to understand that you could, boom, you explode and you have a plan with a pointy object. You can hit it with a dot and it lights up if you're not piercing an eyeball out. So your basic function is, when you learn that you can design a Merkaba for you in your imagination, and it's two opposing tetrahedrograms, I think is the word. It's just a 5-dimensional complicated triangle. It spins in both directions, negative and positive, and you just got everything in light. So as you're driving in this in bilocation, that's how you're getting around the multiverse, by the way. When you learn who you are, and don't get too nervous about what the hell he's talking about, we're going to be able to close our eyes, sitting like Buddha, and jump in this Viper and go, while we're sitting and doing our thing. And if we have fragmentary stuff that we need to pay attention to, or as we wish to do it, you can walk around and be pondering this while you're walking to go do something else, and be plugged into that part of your system instantly, if needed. When you're a master, and we should evolve to a point where we can be fully functional in bi-location simultaneously, where you're operating on Gaia and having a conversation with somebody but you see, we're going to go to telepathy, so we'll be involved with feelings, because we're sentient beings, and all this stuff is going to connect together. So as Gaia chain, use this as an analogy of where we're at now. We're unaware. It's the big planet rock. That's our feeling in a comedy TV show, or like on Planet Rock, Planet Hollywood. Okay, that's all boom, blow it, whoop. Now we're Gaia. Now we are the lotus. She's a jewel. She's one big jewel in transformation, and there's Jewel at the base of Lake Tahoe, and there's Crystal in Arkansas. And when we become extensions of the crystal with our respective Merkabas as humans on the surface of this planet, you humans don't understand where we're going. I'm trying to tell it to you, because that's where we're going. And along the way, you keep loving your heart, and you have to get ahead of the TV if you watch it, in instant discernment. Look at the face, look at the decision, look at every word. Oh, he said conflict, war, Hillary, indictment. Instantly, you should be saying, well, this is game. We're gaming. The presidents play together. Game. Who's indicting what? By who? Where? Who's the authority that's going to say I was perfect and so I think Hillary should be put to death? Okay, this is what we're coming into. Millie, the general, is talking to our, to this, okay? The lie over there. So what's the lie that's over there? It's the sledgehammers. It's in front of our face now. The Petra is over there. And Millie's talking to him, our general with the 101st patch. I don't know why the guy, he stood next to Trump at the church. Everything is out of the box with madness. So the being that was, the aware being, parabolically speaking, is this. And everything I just described is that. And we've lived like that, accepting our embedded existence at that density of awareness. And now we lift up with our heart. We go, oh, it's coming out on its own. I didn't even need to pull it. My RH negative dude, that's how he fights. He's not doing anything. He's just like, whoop. So that's what it's doing. It's the truth. It's the truth within. It's your catalyst saying, wake up. You're in charge. You own this. And you don't use it to hurt anybody. You use it because it's the truth. It's Excalibur. And it's your discernment, your instant reaction, and your resulting behavior. So if you Muhammad Ali a guy, or you Bruce Lee a guy, you don't take the kill shot. You go MMA in a way that I'm just explaining to you as a guy, because the guys know what I'm talking about. If you want to be Brutus, they got the guys on stage that know how to do it, and it's electric energy that gets you real excited. Professional MMA wrestling is all in. It is, the contact of the manhood, and people die. I mean, if you really want to get primordial about it, they let lions in just to kill people that we don't do yet, and we don't want to devolve back to that. We want to teach the lions just like we teach the ticks, and they'll be easier to teach. You expose them to the right food. I mean, and it's a natural thing that we codify the landscape to make the lion wake up to his food that's not running around. He's just got no motivation. Because we have brave people that, there is no zoos. We have to modify this whole planet. It's a multi-dimensional path that we're taking. And it's all tied to, as we get wise and we have true wisdom, it allows us to take the moment to do the best possible thing for everybody in the interest of the team, for the sweep. At the macro level, and at the minor level, it's what should I be consuming? Should I be just drinking water from the air? Well, not yet. That's too far out there. Okay, but we've come a long way.
Your device isn't set up yet.
See?
To get started, download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
Thank you for that. Isn't that nice, that artificial insertion? Somehow it heard something and told me that. It must have said a word. Isn't it weird how we've come that far, that a machine sitting in a room, okay, it's time for me to talk to that person, and I'm supposed to pay attention to it. And there are probably people running around here right now that can't wait to get meta. They can't wait to artificial up. They can't wait to just be in that world, that at least they can tell everybody that, hey, this stuff ain't fun. I'm having problems out here. And they know who they are if they watch me, but that's okay. We all have problems. I mean, not sleeping sucks, and not doing the right thing, you pay for it. You just pay for it. You don't even know it, but you pay. You hitting that double steak. You were extra hungry. Oh man, good luck on the throne there, king. You know what I mean? The term is anal agony for the ribeye. for the Guinness. By golly. You'll pay, won't you? It's hilarious. Our human body is designed by angels that are laughing at us. Look at him, he's on the toilet. Hey, do you have a good night? So that's funny. But we going forward now, in good humor, in love, in helping the other guy up, in not wanting to lay the guy out in the first place. And the thought of doing it is just a consideration that you can look at somebody else and you can tweak your eyebrows up and down, and like enough said, he's at it again, and we're just going up with empathy and love for our fellows. And it's like, they'll sort of drag themselves up too. You know, we're going to get to that point. You look at these images that I drew. You know, I just did this. And this is Dolores Cannon, and it's the dollar bill. It's you. That's the real you. And it's a simple version of us. This is a simple version of meditation. Simple. This is current QHHT. In imagination, you get protected. And if you listen to Sam the Illusionist in the early days, this was the way you got started, a golden pyramid of light. So you got Metatron saying, okay, that's what you want? You got it, with all the angels supporting. And now we're going to Merkabas that are spinning in two directions, and you're stepping into your spirit body when you do this. And when you use these things as you travel, whether it's walking around inner Earth or it's liftoff for Arcturus with your collective and Arcturians who are here and who are there. So get ready with your parents and your great-great-great-grandparents who came back, and you find out who they were and what your family did 1,000 years ago, and you're going to be saying, really? And the fact that you can keep a question mark on something like that years from now is why the tapestry was so complicated for our lives. Our soul tapestry, you were. You took a ride in Arcturus already as a being. You must have, because we got too much time to do it. So please understand, it goes back that far. You know, you've been these other beings for some period of time, because everybody needs to be able to relate. Everybody needs to be able to relate to each other. So the same reason you see a person of a different color on the street, you need to wrap around your sword here everything that composites this, that in terms of your identity as an extension of Gaia, we are all metamorphically identical as crystal and in perfection. So when we go rolling out as a group, if there are other, if the awareness and the feeling is such that there's other than our brilliance, then we'll be able to discern it. Because this light body, when you sit inside it and imagine it, it is perfect math, perfect Tesla, perfect vibration with oppositional control of you moving. Where do you want to go, guys? You're feeling now. Whoop, and you're gone. So that's it. Excalibur, Knights Templar, is the analogy. Who is King Arthur? Does he really know what he's doing, King Arthur? I thought the story was he at the end of the day, he couldn't do it and some other person did it, or that's the legacy of the, all our cultures have given us stories about how to get where we're going. In the East, you throw out these religions, you're throwing out their mantras, and you're not very wise, because those mantras will tell you what you need to burn down to get in that Merkaba. You step into this viper drunk or jealous or greedy or fearful, You ain't going nowhere. You're going to crash it. Oh! You won't even be able to get in it because you're rocked out here. So I'm going to disturb the whole environment by showing you my face and saying, have a great day, because I just woke up and said this. So listen to those that really wish to back up their word and practice what they preach, knowing that there's only 24 hours in a day. And if I could possibly do what I dream about doing, I would be able to walk out and pull a sword from a rock right now in reality. So it's wonderful to have the challenges, because then you get to, at the strategic level of human now, you human, hey, where are we? What? Bush did 9/11? What? U.S. SOCOM was in charge of rolling over our people? And Tillman was assassinated by friendly fire? Friendly fire. My God. The words there. Friendly fire. Can you believe it? What is that, when you toss the kid into the drink at the Bohemian Grove? Is that friendly fire? Oh, I don't think it's funny. If it's really happening, I mean, the empathy and the sympathy and the absolute unbelievable self-judgment that you need to have to fix yourselves, because you got a problem. It's not my problem. So my problem is right here. My problem is we speak to these people. So to the extent that they participated in abomination wherever they had to go to do what they need to do, your friends, who they have to deal with it now for the entire TV audience that they played for with stars on their chests. You stood up on TV, and when the cameras went off, you participated in some hoo-ha. Hoo-hoo. You know, there's not going to be any trials. There's going to be self-forgiveness. And I hope that occurs. And I hope that you can just say, hey, I did it. I got rich during the Gulf War. I got loaded in many ways. And I, fortunately, at my own, I left my apples in proper places. So from a definition of ownership, I still got it, but it's over there for somebody else. And that should be us. Like, oh, I have a whole bunch of this, let's just do that. And then you're like, what? I don't have to worry about that? People who really care about it can do it? And I have time to play with him, this poor guy. So, everybody have a great day. And we'll keep loving your heart. And be nice to your pets, because they love you, and they'll keep coming. All right, bye.